Hey, what's up, guys? Alan here with EatSleepTrade.net. Going to be bringing you guys the swing trading watch list for the week of April 11th, 2016. Finally hit our last target on the SPX, so we'll be talking about that as well as going over 4 or 5 stocks that we're going to be adding to our swing trading watch list going into next week. So sit tight. We will be right back in just a second. Alright guys, welcome back. First thing we're going to talk about here is the SPX and its current position and condition. So we did finally come up and test our 2075 target. The high was actually 2075.07, so it was yeah, right to about 7 cents. Pretty incredible. But as expected, that was a pretty major resistance area, and figured that if we did not break through it with big volume, you would you would be pulling back and consolidating off of that area. So we did get our test up there. Now we've come back and we are testing our 20-day moving average. So if we do not hold this 20-day moving average, you have support from the downtrend that we broke above, back in March 20, 21st, around that area. If we break below both of these support areas, which is also this prior low here, then you're looking at probably coming back down to test our 50-day, all the way back down at 1975. So this kind of a drop could happen very rapidly. But in my opinion, we're still in this bullish trend that we've been in for the past 2 or 3 months, 2 months. And if we hold this 20-day simple moving average, which it looks like we are going to, as there was a lot of buyers that actually came in off this 20-day moving average, our next move is obviously to get back above this 2075 area. But don't discount this 2057 area. That was our last established resistance area. And you could see on Friday it was difficult for the SPX to stay above that area. So not only do we have to work at this 2057 into 2075, but again, if we get that big push and decent volume through that 2075 area, our next target is 2105. So not too many stocks to add on to this week. As you can imagine, we're in a pullback right now. But there is definitely some stuff that is set up and could make some explosive moves if we get a market turnaround holding the 20-day and a move back towards 2075. So first up, let's take a look at RLYP. And you've got this insane breakout on massive volume. I mean, huge relative volume, traded 21 million shares, made a move from the open at 1440 all the way to 2560. So the stock almost doubled from 13 bucks, which is a huge move. And of course, anytime you get a huge volume breakout like this and you start to consolidate and pull back, you always want to look for that flag breakout and continuation higher. You get a lot of people that are getting short on these huge relative volume, expecting it to crash. Sometimes it holds up more than they expect, start to break to the top side of this resistance flag, and you could really get a short squeeze going on, especially getting back above the prior highs, which are going to be around 2560. So watch that into next week. See if we start to make a move continued higher, and that could give us an opportunity on a flag breakout. Next up, let's take a look at SGYP. Kind of an interesting chart here. It's been on a pretty major downtrend for quite some time. But what caught my eye is, of course, this big relative volume. Traded 10 million shares on Friday, which is out of character for it. And not a huge range breakout move. So I really think if we get continued volume into Monday, Tuesday, and next week, we get above our 50-day moving average, which we are testing now. And I think we could easily see a push or move up to this $3.80 to $4 area. Somewhere in this resistance range is where I think we could see a move if we keep up with a good pace volume. A 2 to 3 breakout would be ideal. So definitely worth keeping on watch as we get above our 20-day and start testing that 50-day. Of course, long term, yeah, the stock probably heads lower, but short term, we could definitely see a break higher to 380 to $4. So keep that on watch. Next up on the list is VSLR. And another one here you can see, not the greatest setup, not a stock that is bullishly trending. However, we do have something in common here. Huge relative volume. The stock is trading really big volume and had a pretty big range day here to test its 20-day moving average, gapped up above that 20-day moving average, sold off into that. Just as much volume as the day before, except for the range was much smaller even. So not a big sell-off, returning it back down to lows. So we watch this kind of for a flag setup, see if we get another big volume breakout, and who knows, maybe we get a test up to this 20 or 50-day moving average up here around $5. So that could lead to a pretty substantial move if we get the volume to support it. So keep that one on watch. Next up is QLGC. And this one actually just had a pretty big breakout of this 1350 resistance area. You can see it was a pretty major area, not only as resistance, but as support. Previous areas on the chart, as well as resistance on even previous areas of that chart. So you see it come from resistance, breaking out, to support, breaking down, and resistance, and then breaking out again. Big relative volume as always. Stock is currently trending up, even though it did have this massive sell-off. Seems like it's kind of working its way back up, and who knows, maybe it comes back up here to test this 1580, 1575 area on the prior highs, since it has been putting in a nice grind. Our 20-day is above our 50-day. We got the breakout above 1353 and closed above that. So that's pretty significant, and the volume was huge. Definitely would have liked to see it close higher up in this 1425, 1450 area. But nevertheless, if volume comes in on Monday, Tuesday, it could absolutely push this thing back up to these prior highs through 14. And maybe after a few days we start seeing some moves back up towards this $15 area. So with the relative volume that it traded on Friday and the breakout of resistance here at 1350s, I think it's worth to put on the watch list and keep an eye on it. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for the stocks to add to this week's swing trading watch list. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos. Also, check out the website eatsleeptrade.net. There is a ton of new information on there, and as always, I'm changing, updating, and creating new content for the website. So please take the time to check that out. Leave a comment on there. Give me some feedback. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and good luck trading next week, and we'll see you in the next video.